everyone, Merry Christmas. We're so glad that you are here with us for this special Christmas Eve service. Just a reminder, we're not meeting tomorrow morning, but we will meet next Sunday, January 1st at 10 a.m. Now, will you join me in welcoming our amazing youth drama team in 3, 2, 1.
That whole song, like, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Like, reindeer aren't real. So, like, what did Grandma get run over by?
A car?
No, it's like, that's the whole, the whole thing. You get what I'm saying? Like, my. Now, look who's on time as always.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not hosting the party, so I shouldn't have to worry about traffic. Also, if someone were ready on time...
Sorry, the dog ate my Christmas sweater.
Do you really think any of us are going to believe that?
Worth a try. Anyways.
Was the traffic really that bad? I don't believe you. I mean, that's besides the point, there's all the Christmas front running.
Can we stop all this mumbo-jumbo chit-chat? I've been practicing my charade skills, and I'm ready to destroy the other team.
No, here's the thing. It's charades. There is no strategy.
But, no, that's what the big charades want you to think, but there's like this whole secret strategy that they've just been hiding from you.
Yes, of course, the secret strategy. How could I forget? And what would that be again?
Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a secret. All right, Micah, you're with us, and definitely not Drew. He just doesn't get it. We'll take Becca.
So, I've got Drew?
Yeah.
I'm so sure of my strategy. I'll just let you guys go first.
Your funeral. You ready?
Yeah.
Go for it.
Oh, I got it. Let me do my little celebration dance before we dance real quick. Yeah, can you give me playing hockey for 200, Steve?
You got it.
Oh, yeah. How do you like me now?
Okay, our turn.
Go for it, Jesse.
She's not going to get it.
Exactly.
No way she gets this.
Wait, where is she going?
That's not even
What?
They can't see you back there.
Oh
What
my
the-
goodness.
What the? Oh, you know what she's doing? She's riding a horse that's pregnant, that's trying to do gymnastics. Oh, sledding.
Totally original. That's got to be against the rules, though.
Actually, it's not. According to Charade Rule 42.3c1, props are legal if they were in the play area, so that's a point for us.
No, hold on. Who reads the manual? Like, hey guys.
Guys, I'm here now.
Nobody reads the manual.
No, hey. Look, there's a
Bro,
that's all the greetings I get?
Hello. Sorry, we were just laughing at Jesse's big plot to overthrow big charades.
Well, didn't you guys see all the gifts I got you?
Ho, ho, ho. Okay, Santa Claus. You did know we had a $10 one person gift limit?
Well, I wanted to get you guys actually good gifts for all of you.
But that's not what makes this meaningful. It's watching Becca try to escape and spend more time on the ground than standing.
I don't remember that.
That's when you were working instead of hanging with us.
Because she was working 9 to 5.
So the gifts aren't important?
No, Christmas is really all about the joy. When I was going through a really hard time, I asked God to give me joy, and that's exactly what he did. Yeah. You can even find joy with being with friends and family, or watching Micah and Drew argue if the town is Bethlehem or Bethlehem.
Oh, you're going to bring that up?
No.
Okay.
Because, here's the deal. Spell it out, bro. It's
no,
like
bro, no.
Beth-la-hem. Ham.
Listen. So why do we have ham for Christmas then?
Nah, bro. That's
See, Sophie, the gifts aren't important.
Come on, man.
The joy is what makes Christmas meaningful.
No, because you got the ham, you got the eggnog, you got it's the presents. It's all part of the tradition.
Oh, the presents. Hey, if you still have those presents, I will not turn those down.
Here you go.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
one of the craziest Christmas presents that I ever got. Do you remember? Do you remember what it was?
I remember.
My dad, he was a crazy, funny guy sometimes. So one Christmas, there's these 2 huge boxes, right? And I thought, this is so cool. There's one for my sister and one for me. So we opened the boxes, and inside the boxes was a carrot necklace. And my dad is screaming, laughing. He goes, yeah, I got you a 14-carat necklace. And we put them on. I mean, it was like 14 carats hanging around both of our necks. We got so many pictures of it, and I think we laughed like crazy. My sister and I wore those necklaces around till they fell apart. But so I must say, I've had a 14-carat necklace for Christmas.
One of the funniest memories that I have growing up is I had Christmas at my grandparents' house one time. And it was one of the times that we only had just my cousins were actually with us. Well, my grandmother went and bought Christmas presents for everybody, and she forgot to put name tags all over it. Now, the thing is, there was 3 boys in the mix of things and 1 girl. Well, in a panic, my grandmother said, Isaac, go put name tags on the gifts. My grandfather had no idea whose gifts was whom. So he goes around and he puts name tags on everybody's gifts. So it came around Christmas time, and we handed out all of the gifts, and we had no idea, and everybody had the wrong gifts. It was a big surprise when I opened up and I had Cousin Linda's pantyhose as one of my favorite, one of my gifts for that Christmas. Needless to say, it was a very exciting Christmas morning.
So when I was a kid, we went to my aunt's house for Christmas. We took our dog with us, and they had a live Christmas tree. And he went over to the tree as soon as we walked in the door, and he lifted his leg and peed. And when I went over to see where he peed on my gift. And I was furious. I was so annoyed. And 2 hours later, when we were opening up gifts, I opened up mine, really annoyed at my dog, and I realized it was actually a rain poncho. How appropriate is that, right? So that was great. That was funny.
That's great.
As a kid, one of the highlights of our lives that we both talk about is waiting for the Sears and Roebuck Christmas edition to come out. As a kid, it felt like it was like that thick. Have to go through and write down all the things that you want and get 1 or 2 of them, but at least it was fun. I think my parents had me working on one penmanship. That didn't work very well, did it?
No.
It was pretty bad, but that's a highlight of my childhood, of remembering what to do, and we both had a great time with that, listing everything out.
Everybody, we are glad you are with us tonight. And if you're joining us online, Merry Christmas. You are family with us too. I just wanted to open up. Our theme tonight is about joy. And if you read in Isaiah chapter 9, it says that you have multiplied the nation and increased its joy. And we know what later comes in the passage, for unto us a child has been given, and unto us a son has been given, and the government shall be on his shoulders. So we are worshiping with joy tonight because of Jesus. And I don't think of a better way to open up a service about joy than to have our kids. So I would like you to stand up and join our preschool kids as they lead us into worship. Clap along. Feel free to make them feel as comfortable as possible as they're standing up here, and encourage them as they sing together. So you guys are ready. So here we go.
Angels
Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the earth, the Savior reigns. Let men their songs employ, while fields and flood, rocks, hills and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. No more let sins and sorrows grow, nor thorns infest the ground. He comes to make his blessings flow, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found, far as the curse is found. He rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, his love. He rules the world, he rules the world with truth and grace, and makes the nations prove the glories of his righteousness, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, and wonders of his love, his love, his love, wonders of his love. It's his love, it's his love. Wonders of his love. And let every heart prepare him room, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Jesus. the thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angel voices. Oh, night divine, oh, night when Christ was born. And truly He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy in grateful chorus raise we, let all within us praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord. Oh, praise His name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and glory evermore when Christ was born. Oh, night divine, oh, night divine. Love incarnate, love divine. Star and angel gave the sign. Bow to babe on bended knee. the Savior of humanity. Unto us a child is born. He shall reign forevermore. Come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world, given for us. Noel. Son of God and Son of Man, barely born the world began. Born to suffer, born to save, born to raise us from the grave. Christ the everlasting Lord, He shall reign forevermore. Noel, Noel, come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world, given for us. Noel. Sing with me tonight. Noel, Noel, come and see what God has done. Noel, Noel, the story of amazing love, the light of the world, given for us. Show us your glory, show us your glory. In wonder and surrender we fall down. Show us your glory, show us your glory. Let every burning heart be holy ground. this praise. Have your way. The moment that we see you, we are changed. Show us your glory. Show us your glory. In wonder and surrender we fall down. Show us your glory. Show us your glory. Let every burning heart be holy ground. Chains fall and fear bow here and now. And Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found here and now. 'Cause Jesus, you change everything. Chains fall, fear bow here now. 'Cause Jesus, you change everything. Lives healed, hope found here and now. 'Cause Jesus, you change everything. Rejoice, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Oh, Jesus, you change everything. Rejoice, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Jesus, you change everything. Jesus, you change everything. Jesus, you change everything. Rejoice, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Rejoice, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel. Oh, Jesus, you change everything. Rejoice, rejoice. Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Hark the herald angels singing, glory sound. Joyful, all ye nations, rise. Join the triumph of the skies. With angelic hosts proclaim, Christ is born in Bethlehem. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Christ by highest heaven adored, Christ the ever
I always remember on my wife's side of the family, they're Swedish, and every Christmas Eve we would have to have this specific dinner called lutefisk. And the thing of it is, it's this fish that they get, and it's put in this acid, and it turns all white, and then they boil it somehow, shape, or form. I'm not sure if anybody ever liked it, but everybody said, "Oh, it's great, it's great." The reason it was good is because you always had a lot of mashed potatoes, and they put this gravy on it, and they made Swedish sweet meatballs. So as you're eating the fish and you're digging out the little things that come with the fish, you would always go to the meatballs. But it was always fun, but everybody said they loved it, but I'm not sure how many really did. So that, and one other quick thing, rum balls. Rum balls. You got to have rum balls. My wife is the one. She'd always say, "You got to need rum." I said, "No, I ain't going in for that rum. You got to go in for that rum." But rum balls is another story for another time. So, amen.
A family tradition of ours is that on Thanksgiving, we all draw names from a hat, and whoever's name we get, we buy the most ugly Christmas socks that we can find for them. Like jingle bells or ugly Santa faces. Toe socks are the ultimate worst. And then on Christmas morning, we give them to each other, and we have to wear them all day long.
I love that. Toe socks are the worst.
They are.
Traditionally, we all get together and we have our family meal. There's like 29 of us total, and we do all of our food, and then we start to do the stockings. We have all them hung with care along the fireplace. And we just have a great time with that. We try to make everything individualized for each of the grandkids and our children, and it just seemed to go very well for them. We like to put a lot of thought into the presents. They just love to open the stuff. One memory I have is one of the kids like, "Oh, that's for me. That's mine. That's for me." And I take that as just, that's great. They like that. But I also look at the fact that I'm hoping that's what we all do when God gives us the presents also. But those are some of our fondest memories of traditions of what we love to do.
So my favorite Christmas memory is probably from elementary school into my teenage years. We would drive about 4 hours to my grandparents' house in time for Christmas Eve. And that evening, we would walk literally across the street to the New Bethlehem Presbyterian Church. And there was a beautiful stained glass window, front and center, with the angels appearing to the shepherds and the sheep in the field. And I would get absolutely lost in that stained glass window as we sang the Christmas hymns and lit our candles. And then midnight would happen and the bells would chime and it was Christmas, and we would literally walk right across the street with all the luminaries, and we would go in and have some kind of plum cake with rum sauce, and it was magical, it was beautiful, and for years and years that was our tradition as a family. And you don't really appreciate those things when you're little, and I look back now and think how beautifully idyllic that was, and what I would do to just get lost in that stained glass window again.
So our family started a tradition back in the early 90s. Our girls were little, and I was self-employed at the time, and there wasn't much work in the Thanksgiving, Christmas period. So we really were struggling financially, and we literally didn't even have any dollars. We just had some change, and we wanted to do something special with the girls. Carol found a coupon for Auntie Anne's buy one, get one free, and scraped together all the change we had, and we figured we could have 2 pretzels and enough money for 1 large soda and split it between us. So we went in, and they were out of soda. We ended up with lemonade, which is a really weird combination, but it's all we had. So we had 2 pretzels and lemonade, and we split it among us, drove around in our van. We had a tape of Christmas music, and we just looked at Christmas lights, drove through all the neighborhoods, spent hours looking at Christmas lights. And every year since, that's been our tradition as a family, and it's just one of the most precious things about Christmas to me.
Everybody's waited the whole year long, counting down those days until Christmas comes. A chill is on the breeze, and the family's all in town. The lights are on the tree, and it won't be too long now. Feels like joy to the world. seem bright. Happiness bringing, carolers singing. So let's make a memory we'll cherish through the years. It's the most wonderful time, and that time is finally here. Feels like joy to the world, feels like snow in the air, feels like choir singing, church bells ringing, hope is everywhere. Jesus Christ has come, and one thing is clear. Between the tiny little baby and all my friends and family is the best time of the year. Feels like joy. Oh, it feels like joy. Yeah. The chill is on the breeze, and the family's all in town. The lights are on the tree, and it won't be too long now. It feels like joy to the world. It feels like snow in the air. It feels like choir singing, church bells ringing, hope is everywhere. Jesus Christ has come, and one thing is clear. Between the tiny little baby and home, my friends and family is the best time of the year. Feels like joy. Feels like joy. It feels like joy. Feels like joy. It feels like joy, joy, joy. Yeah. Feels like joy.
So one of the special times that I have had with my son was that we would read the Christmas story every year. And as part of that, as a little guy, he got a little nativity that was Fisher Price. And so what we would do is we would always read the Christmas story and he would act it out. And my son has always been a little actor, so it was right up his alley, but it was always such a special memory because it was acting out the Christmas story and something that he looked forward to every year.
So before I started working here, I used to work as a registered nurse in a NICU with the little babies. And every Christmas, we would do something for the parents so that they had like a little gift while they were stuck in the hospital. And we would take the little babies' feet and put them on like cards and crafts and make Christmas trees and snowflakes. And of course their feet were tiny, so it was so cute.
That's
it was
so
such a nice
cute.
little gift for our parents.
I would love that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
so precious. So that's one of
Yay.
my favorite Christmas memories.
That's so sweet. So my favorite Christmas memory, hands down, is that John proposed to me on Christmas Day. So it's my all-time favorite. So we were driving in the car and he was like a little bit nervous. I could tell he was looking for a good spot to like hop out and say, pop the question. So we ended up on a dock and at a state park. It was so pretty. And like growing up, I always had these romantic dreams of when I get engaged, I'll be like, yes, I will marry you. So when he did ask me, I was like, yeah. I got nervous in the moment. It's just like, yeah. And I kind of did this thing and I swayed back and forth, which bumped him and almost knocked him off the dock into the water. But that's my favorite.
That's amazing. Wow.
So one of my most memorable Christmases was my parents had just split up. I was in my 20s. They split up in November, and on Christmas Day I woke up and it was a really, really hard day. And I remember waking up and I said, Lord, I really need you today. And my whole family, I have a large family, we all gathered together for Christmas dinner and gifts and stuff like that, but my heart was so not into it. And we were all mingling around the living room. We're not a touchy family. But I remember feeling a hand come up from behind on my shoulder. So I looked to see who it was, and there was no hand. They had removed it. It happened again about 10 minutes later. I looked, no hand. And then it happened a third time. And this time I wanted to see who was playing a joke on me. And I looked, and there was no hand, but yet I still felt a lasting impression on my shoulder. And in that moment, the Lord said to me, "It's me." And I knew that he was with me on what to me was probably one of the hardest, even to this day, hardest Christmases was that day. And he was with me. I love that.
So we were also talking about the greatest Christmas we ever had as a family. Oh, I'm gonna cry. I remember 97 when David had cancer. He was diagnosed at Thanksgiving, and actually doctors told us that he probably wouldn't live till Christmas. And so it was really awesome when they allowed him to come home. Don't you think that would be the greatest Christmas? He came home with the family, and I think you made a surprise visit to church too, didn't you?
I did. Yeah, the choir was singing, and I came out on the...
Oh my gosh, I remember. And do you remember that you had that hat on? It was kind of a flat hat. We got so many hats because you had no hair.
I had no hair. Yeah.
And eyebrows, or...
No. I remember I had a hat that said Bad Hair Day. Remember that one? Yeah.
I remember, but I remember we just had such a
Christmas.
wonderful time with the kids, and that was amazing.
Yeah.
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 So, and here it is,
Never
what?
forget it.
25 years later?
25 years to the day.
So, and still, it's best Christmas ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Had no idea that was going to play just before I had to get up and talk. So, very, very grateful to be here with you tonight on this Christmas Eve. Wonderful time. That God would love us enough to come after us, to restore us, bring us to himself. That Jesus came to show us how much the Father loved us, to really demonstrate that. That was his main purpose in coming. You know, I've read the Christmas story. One of my traditions. My dad would read the story from Luke or Matthew. We'd switch off years, and he'd read it to us on Christmas Eve. Then we'd worship together as a family. Mom at the piano, and my dad was a choir director, so we had to do all the parts, and he would kind of direct us while we sang. It was just a cool memory. You know, the night that Jesus was born, the sky filled up with angels, literally filled up with angels. I grew up in church. I grew up in Sunday school. We had a thing called flannel graph. How many of you remember flannel graph? Okay, so it was pre-CGI, pre. I mean, it was just paper stuck literally on a flannel board, and so the best they could do with flannel graph was like 5 angels were in the skies, like. Gabriel and the Pips were up in the sky on the night that Jesus was born. But actually, if you read Luke's account, horizon to horizon, it was filled with angels. And I have this sense that heaven unloaded that night, and angels just wall to wall, sky to sky angels. And they were singing, and Luke records their song, and there are 2 things I felt to just highlight tonight. One, they said, "Behold, we bring you good news of great joy." Good news of great joy. I want to talk about that in a minute. And then they said, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace to those who come to enjoy the will of God or walk in the will of God." So peace and joy are such a theme in the heart of God. They just go hand in hand together. In fact, Isaiah prophesied that when Jesus would come, we would go out with joy and be led with peace. They go hand in hand together because Jesus, think about it. Jesus is the Prince of Peace, but the way you could pick him out, the writer of Hebrews, the letter to the Hebrews, he says you could pick Jesus out in a crowd because he was more joyful than anybody else. So he's the Prince of Peace, and he just moves and lives in joy. And both go together. In fact, his peace and his joy, I feel for Paul, because Paul in his letters, he's trying to describe the joy of the Lord and the peace of the Lord. And he says, the joy of the Lord is unspeakable, meaning I can't find a word And Paul's saying, I'm a word guy, but I can't find a word to adequately describe the joy of the Lord. And then he says, and the peace of God is strong, it's mighty, supernatural, and it's a peace that goes beyond your understanding. So the joy is beyond words, the peace is beyond understanding. This is amazing supernatural joy and peace. And the angels, no wonder heaven unloaded. And they said, guess what? His joy is now your joy. His peace is now your peace. And so when they sang to them good news of great joy, the word for good news is the word gospel, which means the best news you'll ever hear. It's not just some news, it's any news. It's the best news you will ever hear. Everything else you hear pales compared to the good news that God brings. And it's good news of great joy. Now, the very first time the gospel was preached by God. It was preached by God, and the first name of God that appears in the book of Genesis is Elohim, which is a plural noun. It's describing the Trinity. And it says it right after the serpent deceived Adam and Eve and they fell into sin and rebellion. God talked to the serpent, God talked to the devil, and he preached the gospel to him. And the gospel he preached to the devil was this: you think you've won now, but the day is coming when the seed, the son, is going to come. He's going to crush your head. He's going to take away your authority. And everything you just messed up, he's going to turn around. He comes to make his blessings flow as far as the curse is found. And the angel said, good news of great joy. We watched this thing unfold. But guess what? All of those promises are going to be fulfilled when Jesus comes. So when we celebrate that Jesus came, he came with great joy. He overturned hell and he broke the chains so that we could all be set free to rejoice in him. And Isaiah said he's coming to bring his joyful kingdom. And of the increase of his government and his peace, there's going to be no end. His kingdom's going to spread. And guess what he's going to do? He's not coming into the world to condemn the world, to shame the world. He's coming into the world so that we might be saved, healed, delivered, and fully restored. In fact, he's come to restore everything that was taken away, to bring it back and make it even better. That's what the word restore means. So he's come to make this great exchange. We lay down our sorrows, he gives us his peace. We lay down our grieving, and he gives us his joy. The oil of joy for mourning. I'm making this wonderful exchange, and my joy is now going to be your joy. In his presence is fullness of joy. He's just filled with joy. I don't know what kind of image you have of God, but you think he's sternly looking at you, twitching his thumb over the red zapper button, waiting to annihilate you. That is not the picture of God. He came not to condemn, but to restore. He came to break every chain, forgive every sin, and set us free. And he's full of joy, and he rejoices over you. And one by one, as we surrender our lives to him, we're told that the angels rejoice again. Your name's shouted throughout heaven. I'm sure there's the ultimate celebration going on and on and on and on. Joy. Good news of great joy. And then peace. Now, when the angels announced peace, they said this. They said, glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace. And we can get used to these phrases and they almost become just kind of routine. But glory to God in the highest. Glory means something that is weighty, something that's significant, something that you feel, like Tim shared, feeling the hand of God on his shoulder when he needed it. It's the weighty presence of God. We have a 6-year-old rescue dog, spoiled rotten rescue dog. She reminds us all the time that she's been rescued. When she does something wrong, she's kind of like the White Christmas movie. Remember when Danny Kaye keeps, keeps playing with, kind of working it with Bing Crosby. Well, she just said, I'm a rescue dog, so, give me a break. And well, I love our rescue dog, and she's got me wrapped. She has absolutely wrapped. And I always carry a reminder of her everywhere I go. Here is one, okay? But see, the glory isn't just these hair. There's another one. Isn't just these hairs that are on my sweater. Her glory is when I hold all 16 pounds of her like a baby and just rock her and talk to her. That's the glory. And so you and I were created to carry the weighty presence of the Lord, to know that he's with us. And Paul, when he wrote his letter to the Corinthians, he said this. He said, you are made not to carry the weight of the world. You are made to carry the weight of his glory. And his glory connects you to him with peace. And as you're connected to him with peace, you will super abundantly move beyond any circumstance you find you're in. What's going to weigh on us is not, we weren't created to carry the weight of the world or the weight of the circumstances or the weight of our past or the weight of dreading the future. We were made to carry the weight of his presence. And peace is a wonderful word. Peace is a medical term in the Bible. It's the word arene, and it was used by doctors. It meant that when a bone was broken and they would set the bone again, and the bone would fuse and grow back together again, when that bone was fused, they would say the bone just came to peace. Peace means a tighter bond than before it was broken. Jesus said, I've come to make a tighter bond than you've ever known. And in my peace, you're going to know the weight of my glory. Not the weight of your past, the weight of your accusers, the weight of your critics. Everybody's got them. But no, greater than anything else, you carry the weight of my presence. You know I love you. I was reflecting, sitting on the front pew, fighting back a grapefruit-sized lump that tried to roll up in my throat when my wife was talking about our ordeal 25 years ago. But I will tell you, what carried me through those days and what carried us through as a family was the weighty presence of the Lord, whose name is greater than cancer. His name is greater than any sickness or illness or accusation or shame or anything that would try to come against us. His name is greater. And see, shalom, actually, the word shalom is the Old Testament word for peace. And it's not just a Jewish greeting like aloha in Hawaii. It's the word shalom means peace that crushes chaos. And Isaiah prophesied that of the increase of Jesus' government and peace, there'll be no end. Where Jesus reigns, his peace reigns. And I'd have to say, of all the gifts I've ever received, and I have some favorite gifts, looking back through the years, I have some favorite gifts, but I'll tell you the greatest gift of all is the gift of Jesus. And if you've never opened your heart to receive him, I just encourage you tonight, most important decision, most powerful decision you'll ever make, because he comes in with his joy, he comes in with his peace, and he comes to change us. And I wanted to just share a song for a minute, and then we have a couple other things that we're going to do tonight. We are the reason he gave his life. We are the reason that he suffered and died. To a world that was lost, he gave all he could give, to show us the reason to live. We are the reason he gave his life. suffered and died to a world that was lost. He gave all he could give to show us the reason to live. I finally found the reason for living. It's in giving every part of my heart to Him. In all that I do, in every word that I say, I'll be giving my all just for Him. We are the reason you gave your life. We are the reason that you suffered and died to a world that was lost. You gave all you could give. Show us the reason to live. Knowing you, Jesus, knowing you, there is no greater thing. You're my all, you're the best, you're my joy, my righteousness, and I love you, Lord. Oh, I love you, Lord. Knowing you, Jesus, knowing you, there is no greater thing. You're my all, you're the best, you're my joy, my righteousness. You're my all, you're the best, you're my joy, my righteousness, and I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. I love you, Lord. So this Christmas, before we open any of our presents, how about if we open our hearts afresh to Jesus, the greatest gift of all? And maybe you've never done that in your life. Today can be the first time. Or if you did it many, many years ago, I think there's something about freshly opening up our hearts to Him. Receiving Him afresh. Come into my heart. Come into my life afresh, Lord. Someone's knocking at your door. Somebody's ringing the bell. Somebody's knocking at your door. Somebody's ringing the bell. Open the door. Let Him in. Open the door. And let Him in. So, we're going to light candles right now. But let's not just do it as a routine Christmas Eve ceremony. How about if we do it as an expression to the Lord that I invite you afresh into my heart? So even now, as we're getting set to do this, Lord, I ask you to ignite my heart afresh. I ask you to ignite my heart afresh with your weighty presence and your fiery love. and you light up my life more than ever before. You burn up the things that aren't of you. You can do that. You've got the power and the grace to do that. You burn up the things that aren't of you. And you fill my life. You ignite my life with your presence, so that I shine to give you glory, and I shine to light up the darkness for other people too. So Jesus, come and move in my life. There we go. Yeah, it'd be good if I had a candle. There we are. Okay. Yes, there we go. Thank you, thank you. So let's do that tonight. Let's ask Jesus to ignite our hearts and our lives afresh. Here we go. Yay.
And keep you, make his face shine upon you, be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace. The Lord bless you and keep you, make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord turn his face toward you and give peace. Amen. Amen.
upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his favor be upon you and 1,000 generations, and your family and your children and their children and their children. May his presence go before you and behind you and beside you, all around you and within you. He is with you, he is with you in the morning, in the evening, in your coming and your going, in your weeping and rejoicing. He is for you, 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 he is for you.
adore Him, Christ the Lord. Sing it again, oh come, let us adore Him. Oh come, let us adore Him. Oh come, let us adore Him, Christ the You may be seated. You can blow out your candles now.
Let
That was wonderful. Amazing. Well, I want to thank everybody that took time to bring this about tonight. A lot of time, a lot of energy, a lot of practices. And I'm so grateful. I'm inviting the staff to join me out front here. We're going to, some of the staff, a lot of them are still busy doing other things, but I just want to tell you what a joy it is to serve with this team. They're wonderful people, and what a joy it is to serve this house. And we are so grateful for all of you. We're grateful for the call of God on each one of our lives. He's drawing us to himself, and he's working with us to make a difference in the world. And we're so grateful for all of you. And so on behalf of my amazing wife and this team, we want to wish you the most blessed Christmas, literally a mighty Christmas filled with mighty encounters with Jesus. May that be yours this season and into a whole new year of change and turnarounds and breakthroughs. The Lord's got a lot in store for us in the coming year. So God bless you all. We appreciate you so much. Yes, yay.
Can we give it to the team? There's so many volunteers that gave up their time to just put this together.
Come on. Amen.
So we love you guys. Just a couple quick things before you go. You kids are so cute. Hello. Can I hold your candle? Thank you. A couple things. Remember, we're not meeting here tomorrow, but we will be sending out an email to you all. If you're on an email, that's just a message from Pastor Dave and a song from our dandy boys up here. So, and as you exit today, there are some ornaments that a team put together for one per family to hang on your tree from us, a little gift to you. And also, parents, your kids made ornaments, and they are out there on the tree, and you can take them with you and put that on your tree when you get home as well. We're so grateful for all of that. Also, we are taking photos out there. You can do it here on stage by the trees if you want to, but we actually have someone there who will hold your phone for you if you want to take a picture of your family. You don't have to stretch your arm and do a selfie tonight. We will do that for you. And we will meet back here Sunday morning, January 1st, same time, 10 a.m., wide-eyed. There'll be lots of coffee that you want to drink before you come. But we're going to have a great time just celebrating as we jump into the new year. And also, as well, you're able to still give your tithes and offerings today at the back or online as you always do. But we love you guys. And we truly, truly are praying and believing you're going to have an amazing, not just amazing Christmas, but also an amazing brand new year. Amen? So bless you, parents. You must take your children home with you. And please grab your ornaments off the trees when you go. If not, we'll send your kids home with Pastor Dave and Pastor Sherry. So there you go. Bless you guys. Merry Christmas.
Christmas.